Mavericks hang on for a 3-2 victory, Don Westfall, and pretty exciting, entertaining third period of hockey, but not really something the Mavericks wanted.
No, the Mavericks, they held on for the victory, but really the better of the scoring opportunities came off the stick of the Wildcats there in that second or third period of play. And so
we'll see the Edward Jones save of the game as Cole Huggins comes up big late in the third period. We're unable to talk with Mike Hastings. Apparently will not be able to get that fixed. Teddy Bluger, the second star of the game. And the number one, Bryce Gervais, the number one player of the game. But Edward Jones save of the game. Now we'll look at the game summary. Mavericks winning 3-2.
Take a look at some of the highlights potentially from the contest here. All the way back in the first period, Dan. And again, the Mavericks jumped off great, got the lone goal of the period. That's the play from the point on the shot that Leitner makes the big tip on, and that again made it 1-0. Leitner with his 10th. And then Gervais comes back and gets a power play tally for his 13th of the season.
Yeah, and the Mavericks look like they're on a pretty good roll. The first power play not so good, the second one real good. Third one, even better. They're up 3-0, but Shine makes it 3-1 there. Then we got another look at that. That's the one that actually that's one that's kicked in. That's the kicked in one. So that did not count. Good look at here's Gervais' goal.
Yep, that's the back power play from Bluger on the play, and that was Gervais' 13th of the season. That was early in the second. Mavericks will get another power play goal as Flanagan comes up with a blast. And then it's the goal by Sooth. That came with about 5 minutes remaining in the game, and that was really a transition there at that point because it took some momentum into the period of third. And on a power play, Mashmeyer teed one up to get his 5th of the year. And at that point, the Mavericks, again, just a matter of holding on as Mashmeyer. You can see the long blast with some traffic in Doherty out in front. And the Mavericks, boy, they had 17 minutes, and it was a long 17 minutes for them to persevere, but yet they do. And the Mavericks with the win tonight, 3-2 shots on goal. Mavericks out shooting the Wildcats 25-18. Power play tallies were big for both teams tonight. Mavericks 2 for 4, 1 for 2 for Northern Michigan, and faceoffs 31. It was a pretty even contest. And again, the Mavericks at one time led this thing 3-0, but boy, the Wildcats, you got to give them a lot of credit, and it's going to set up things pretty interesting tomorrow night because they're going to actually, despite the loss night, they should come out of this one with a little bit of confidence.
I would think so, and we talked about it. We said, the Mavericks are up 3-0, and if you looked at the score, you'd say, boy, they're playing really well. But they weren't playing really well. They'd had a couple nice power play goals and stuff, but they were up 3-0. It's like, this is a precarious 3-0. And then the one goal made it 3-1. And you go, well, you're still all right. But that power play goal, making it 3-2, really made this a tight contest. But Cole Huggins was big in the third period. He made the saves when he had to.
Let's take a look at some of the out-of-town scores, other action in the WCHA as far as some playoff games going on. And Dan, no surprises there with Bowling Green and Fair State winning.
Alaska Anchorage coming up. Minnesota helped out the Mavericks pairwise by beating Michigan tonight 3-2, and Minnesota wins the Big Ten. Michigan State beat Wisconsin, so even if the Gophers hadn't have won, the Gophers would have won the Big Ten because Wisconsin lost. Western Michigan leading UMD in the third 3-2. Other scores tonight in the third, Miami and St. Cloud tied at 2, and North Dakota leading Colorado College 3-2 in the third period as well.
So again, the Mavericks also had a 3-2 win tonight in this contest. But tomorrow night, Dan, I'll be interested to see what happens in the first, because now the fact is Northern's going to come. They're going to have to win the next 2 games, and you would think the Mavericks, if they could jump out to a lead again, it's going to make things a whole lot easier for them. But we'll find out how tomorrow night's game is going to transfer probably in the first 10 minutes.
The Wildcats did nothing in the first half of this game. I mean, it's like they weren't even here.
They had 6 shots on goal.
It was like they weren't even in the building. Then all of a sudden, they just took over this game and really played very well from that point on. So we'll see what they show up with tomorrow night. If they show up the way they did in the first half of the game, the Mavericks will get up, and I don't think they'll let them back in it. If they play the way they did the second half, this is going to be a real barn burner tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're back again on the air at 6 o'clock with Dan's half-hour discussion with Maverick head coach Mike Hastings as part of a Maverick hockey weekend. And then we kick things off with the pregame show at 6:30 from down here at the Verizon Wireless Center. And again, 7:07 our face-off tomorrow night as the Mavericks take on Northern Michigan for Game 2 of this first-round WCHA Playoff Series. That will do it for tonight's broadcast. For Dan McCarger and myself, Don Westfall, and the rest of the students from from Bethany Lutheran College, we thank you for watching with, again, tonight's final score, 3-2 Minnesota State over Northern Michigan.